Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to part 26 of Season 2 of our new Robertson Pro career on Snooker 19. And today's episode has a bit of a feeling of the morning after the night before, doesn't it? If you haven't watched the last episode, I absolutely recommend you go and do so, because in the last episode, we lifted our first trophy for a long while, and it was a huge one, the Masters. We beat Mark Williams by 6 frames to 2 in an absolutely fantastic final. And today we start the D88.com German Masters against our Robertson counterpart, Jimmy Robertson. We played Robertson once and beat him by 3 frames to 1 in the Welsh Open last year. We've got to learn to call these two by their second names, or else today could get very confusing. Now, we won the Masters, and now the impetus to really improve our ranking position. We know we can do it against the rest. We beat Judd Trump, Mark Allen and Mark Williams to win the Masters. So that was 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the rankings. However, we have slipped down to 10th. And as you can see, there's a big gap between us and Kyron. That sort of Kyron, Jack and Ding group. And there's a huge gap between the Ronnie and John group. And then, well, Mark Selby and Judd Trump even are completely in a league of their own. But of course, doing well in tournaments would really help to balance that out. There's an £80,000 prize pot if we do win this tournament. £35,000 for coming in the final. But ultimately, the aim has to be now after winning the Masters that in every single tournament we push to get some good prize money on the board and some good momentum by getting into the later rounds. So we've got the German Masters, the World Grand Prix, the Welsh Open, the Shootout, the Players, the Gibraltar, only the Tour Championship, of course, if we're in the top 8 by then, and then the China Open and the World Championship. That is it for the rest of the season. So basically, we've got to make the most of it where we can, because the German Masters, again, the Grand Prix, these tournaments can go in a flash, and you can be out of them straight away. We had to play 2 qualifying matches to get here, which obviously weren't on camera. Couldn't tell you at all who they were against, because they were a long time ago, certainly before the Daffabet Masters now. But we are here, it's the last 32 against Jimmy, and hopefully we can have a similar result to what the one was in the Welsh Open. We always turn up to the invitational events. I didn't expect to win the Masters by any stretch. We were in a bit of poor form before that, but I think that just brings the impetus that we need to go and do well in this tournament. Of course, the tournament actually starts, or actually as you're watching this, will have started a few days ago in real life. So we are keeping up with events, although if we do go far in this event, admittedly that will change. But, oh my god, it's so bizarre compared to the Ali Pally, which has got such a good atmosphere. It feels like a quagmire, this does. But anyway, Jimmy Robertson breaks for the first frame. Best of 5. Back to the shorter matches, not a best of 11, more a format that we're used to. And that's a good break off from Jimmy. Not many in today. Especially for Robertson v Robertson. Not much that could have gone wrong there, to be honest. The ball straight back in, it'd be a bonus if it just missed the green and went behind it. That's a great bonus. Great start. Well, with that sort of shot, the momentum can easily continue from the Daffabet Masters. But he gets out of that snooker, but he's left the one red. We get past the black to get to it. We can. I mean, he's left a little bit more of an awkward shot than he could have done, I suppose. But hopefully we can get started here, and that's a good pot. Just wanted to play with a bit more power because I wasn't quite sure where that would end up, but actually we've overdone it a little bit. But nevertheless, it's okay. But, again, we're going to struggle to get position here, really, so I think we go for the risky blue, and then play for the red.
He's an expert long potter.
It's the only way we're going to do this, I would say. Blue's missed, and he's on the red. Well, that's the risky take. Although I don't think Jimmy Robertson will be on much here, so I think we're okay. But again, it's a risk. He's quite close to the black, so I don't think he can do much with this. And no, he's just going to play the black and the red and adopt a safety. Not the best start from us there.
Jimmy Robertson, 8.
But ultimately, it wasn't the best chance in the world anyway, so just have to swallow our pride and get on with it. A little bit harder than I'd have liked, but again, it's back up to bulk. Shouldn't be any problem with that. It's going to be behind the green again. Well, it's going to block access to the one that's away from the pack, luckily. Oh, no, it's not. It's not, actually. You can just about get to that. He's going to hit the yellow. Is he on the way through? No, he's not. And that, unfortunately, is his downfall, because that allows for quite a nice red. Again, another nice starter.
It hasn't worked out all that well.
Well, he's looking at potting this into the right corner pocket.
And don't worry if the commentary's out for you. It seems like it is for me. Dave-handed and Neil folds. Can't seem to keep up. Now, this is always a bit of a tricky one because, unfortunately, sometimes you can play it too hard and it just completely misses the reds. But it hasn't there. It's just about split them. But unfortunately, because of where the cue balls ended up, it hasn't really given us a big chance on anything. That red will go. And I fancy it. I know that we said we need to perform in the ranking events. I know we could just be getting cocky because we won the Daffabet Masters. But we've got to show confidence. And I think this should be okay. Good pot.
He's right on top of his game at the moment.
9.
If you're going to win these taunts, you've got to show some willing. Play the brave shots. And that's not too bad. Position's not great, but I think we can still pop the red from here. I know that my play is always a bit unorthodox, but sometimes you just got to play how you feel. And that's exactly how I felt. Right, this is a risky one. But I think we're okay with the red. I think the angle's fine. And it is. And we've gone straight into the reds. And that is a lovely split. Great stuff. It's all about building up a method. Building up a method that I'm comfortable with. And ultimately that will win frames. And hopefully, especially today's video, is a bit of a boring one. I know that sounds ridiculous. But wouldn't it be great to go and win 3-0? Just to show that we're a player that is threatening and doesn't just get the luck in the ranking events. That would be a great thing to show. Would help if you hit the cue ball in the right way. Have a little bit of top. That's good. That's okay. Again, didn't mean to get on the black. It's the pink we're going for here. Straight pink. Screw back. For the red. The red on the pocket that we're closest to at the moment. Makes sense to get rid of that one while we can.
Oh, wonderful shot.
But actually that doesn't look too bad either. This is missable, but I don't think it should be fine.
This looks pretty simple.
So I think we're going to get rid of this one while we can, and we have. It's gone a lot further up the table than I'd have expected that to go. Bloody hell.
31.
Does the black go here? No, it doesn't. Okie doke. Go for the green. Unlike the risky blue earlier, this is definitely potable. Got to use some top because the side that all the bottom on this would be a little bit unpredictable, so I don't want to play with that. But the cue balls ended up absolutely cushy, and to be honest, when you've got the cue ball like that, you're laughing. And when the reds are separated like that, you're also laughing.
So this pot into
another long pot that should be okay. But where's the cue ball?
That was the risk.
Well.
Neil Robertson.
Talking about having the cue ball on a string, the string must just snapped. Played it a little bit too hard there. Tried to get optimum position for the black. And it just didn't work out. But this is going to be a little bit awkward. He's got the yellow. That's a nice pop. But where's the cue ball going for him? But he's okay.
He's looking to pop this into the right corner.
But all of a sudden it's not on a string, is it, for us? Played it a little bit too hard. Tried to get on the black. And well, it's in the pocket. In that corner pocket. But unfortunately for Jimmy, just a safety, mucked up his position a little bit on the cue ball, and it proved costly. Now, if we play this right, should pass both the balls.
Oh, tremendous pot.
I mean, it hit the one red, but to be fair, we got the pot. It was opportunistic, and that's exactly what you've got to be. Play positively, and it usually works. But not much in terms of position here, unfortunately, so I think what we're going to do is go for the yellow, and then just come back down the table. And hopefully, for goodness sake, not under hit it, so we end up in the middle pocket. But we're going for the red just by the pink. Not the best of shots, but there's a backup plan here, so that's okay. Or we can just play the pink, the red that's there. I don't see that being too much of a problem, but equally we can play this one. No, I'm going to play the one. I'm going to play the one we initially thought, because if you don't go with your gut and you miss, then you Get all grumpy, don't you? Well, at least I do. Quite happy to give the pink a tap here. Give the pink a tap and go for the blue. Again, not the best shot in the world, but just opens up potentially another opportunity with another red. Don't get blocked so much, you see. Got to give this a good whack. Not the best chance, is it really? I think we'll play for the green and try and get it back down the table that way. I think playing the blue is too awkward on that cushion. But as you can see, straight back down the table. Maybe even a little bit too much overdone here. I can't tell unless Robbo gets out the way and the ball stops how we're getting on. But no, that's not worked out badly at all. We'll take that. And we can actually play the pink here. So the pink has come to our rescue a little bit. Because the black won't go. Nope, certainly won't. But the pink is a little bit narrow. I mean, it's a risk, but I think it's our best chance here. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's just get the ball safe. I think that Jimmy's still in this and we would kick ourselves if we did something stupid. So we're going to just put it up to the bulk. Hopefully get a snooker or at least safe behind the brown. It's too much of a risk, I would say, to try and pot the pink. And ultimately, if we don't pot it, then it gives away the frame. Good snooker, though.
What he was attempting. Neil Robertson, 8.
Should be easy enough to get out of, which he has. And if he gets the pot, that is sublime. Well, fair play to him. That is brilliant from Jimmy Robertson. And to be honest, I think he deserves the frame from that. Fair play to him. Brilliant shot to get out of that snooker.
In it goes.
And if he cleans up here on the on the colours, well, he's won the first frame. He's a good player, Jimmy. Again, ranked 23rd, I think, so he's no mug, but I don't particularly know what he's played with the yellow, unless he's just tried to get a safety with a snooker. I'm not sure, but whatever he's tried there, it hasn't worked out, unfortunately for him. Play with some top and try and get away from the blue, because I feel that's the trap that he's trying to get us into.
That's a top shot. Well played.
Could do being a little bit harder, to be honest, if anything.
2.
Gonna play a bit of an opportunistic shot here. Keep the cue ball on the bulk cushion. Not the best, has to be said, but it would be an awkward cut, so he's going for it, and he's got it. But once again, he's out of position for the brown, and he's snookered himself. Well, not the best by us, it has to be said, so far today. Been quite poor.
Very well.
Jimmy Robertson, 3.
Try and get this beam behind the blue. Oh, nearly got the pot there, but a good snooker. Would have been funny if we'd have got the pot there.
He's got it. Excellent shot.
Good snooker, though. Our ability to get in players in snookers have become better, but
That's a great escape
in terms of safety ourselves, we're not too great at it. But just another safety here. It's behind the pink, and if this goes long enough, I think we've actually snookered him again. Poor Jimmy, we're making him fight for this.
Yep, nicely done.
But he's getting out of it every time. And very nearly potted it again. Christ. But we've got a chance here. This is a chance.
Well, he's left half a chance.
Brown and blue's all that needed to go and win this first frame.
This really is a great opportunity.
You heard what Fold said. Just the blue needed.
4.
Been a weird first frame, hasn't it? Goodness me. This will put us 14 ahead. Only 13 ahead on the only 13 remain on the table. So unless you get to snooker on the pink, which by the way we aim to pot here, the first frame will be ours. Close first frame though here. Which I think is good for us because if it had been a runaway from us, we'd have just got cocky. And I think this has just brought us down to earth a little bit. So a good pot on the pink. The black should be a formality, although it's a little bit out of position, but nothing too complex.
So, this pot,
And you could say it's a bit lucky, but ultimately we took more of our chances and we lead in this last 32 match against Jimmy Robertson by 1 frame to 0.
and the first frame near Robertson.
And that is the frame. Well played.
So, a 1 frame
So,
advantage.
time for the break off in the second frame. 1 frame advantage.
This frame.
1 frame down, 2 to go in terms of winning ultimately.
Robertson to break.
But let's see how we get on. Jimmy Robertson is not a player I don't think that will certainly take a 3-0 beating lightly. But a good break off there. Well, he's got to the edge red. This could be close, not quite for him. And he's hit the yellow, but luckily for him it's just come in for the brown and hit the brown. If not, this would have been a lot easier shot to play, it has to be said. But a similar shot to our break-off shot now. Back up in bulk. It's good to see. The closer to the brown, the better. And if I was to pick the cue ball up and place it, I couldn't have placed it too much better than that. Well, he's done the same and he's hit the brown again. The brown being his saviour. Because there's not too much we can do here. But equally, there's not much I don't think, unless we really muck this up, there's not too much he can do after this shot. Just needs to play nicely. Just needs to play ball, so to speak. But let's see. Can he get past the blue? He can't, so that's good.
Test of their safety skills.
I'm worried about that yellow. I am worried about that yellow. I feel like he could come in for that and get the snooker behind it. But that's a good chance, and this is definitely a good chance. So we're going to play with a lot of power and hopefully get the pot.
Impressive opening.
And it's there. Great pot. But where's the cue ball going? We're okay, I think. It should just bounce off the bulk cushion and allow us to get in for the yellow. That's okay. We can breathe again. But we'll actually go for the blue here.
Well, no surprises here with the long pot attempt.
Seems sensible. The yellow is a little bit awkward in terms of position. We're just going to go for the red into the same pocket as we did before. So you might have questioned it was a bit weird that we were screwing back rather than just following through. And that's the reason why.
He's got a real chance here.
That's a decent split. Take that. Pink should hopefully cut into the top pocket. Well, it's not so much a cut, is it? It's a fairly straight shot, but it's not straightforward by any means. Again, we could easily miss this. And you have to say the opportunities out of this aren't the best. So it's not quite a shot to nothing, but it almost is. But we've got the pot. And luckily we've got the position too. Usually... Oh, have we though? Have we though? Whatever we have. We've just got that red, luckily, that's come up to the middle pocket, which we can get to, or else we would be absolutely stumped. Not snookered, but stumped. A little bit shaky so far, I'll admit.
Nicely on the blue.
Pink spot is taken up, so that goes on the brown spot, because of course the brown spot was... well, the brown moved earlier from its spot, didn't it? Trying to find a way to get something that we can potentially cut. Let's try that. Blue's going to block, I would say, on the straight red. Yeah, it is, but that could be a chance. Oh, not quite. Doesn't quite go. That's a shame. So just the safety here. Again, not the best start. A little bit shaky. And this would be ideal if it came in between the pink and the brown, but it just hasn't got the legs. Not quite, anyway.
Not really the result he was after.
And this isn't Daffabet Masters winner form, to be honest.
He's aiming to sink this into the right corner.
And a good starting pot from Jimmy Robertson. We got away with it in the first frame, so I wouldn't be surprised if the snooker gods gave Jimmy Robertson this frame, which isn't a negative term as such, giving him the frame.
He's playing for the right corner here.
It's just what he deserves. Neither player's played brilliantly so far. So level pegging would make sense, but still very early on in the frame. Only potted 2 reds and 2 colours at the moment, and that isn't going to help his cause. That's going to make things a lot more awkward. The red up bulk's going to make him worry a little bit too, but he could be going for this. But, ooh, that went a little bit wrong. I think he struck the wrong red. And as a result, hit another red, and the cue ball just slowed down altogether.
That's a shocker.
And you heard what Dave Hendon said, and what he thinks of that is a shocker. And we're back in again. As I've said, not our best start, but ultimately, play better than our opponents, and we can get 2-0 up here.
8.
Keep it in and around the black, it's not the worst thing in the world.
9.
Trying to get one of these potentially to the middle pocket. And keep around where we are. But that's going to be a little bit tricky because it's not quite a straight shot. Well, it's nowhere near a straight shot actually with this red. So I think we just have to play up for the blue. Actually tap the red out of the way while we're at it.
He's lining this one up to the middle pocket.
Narrow angle, but looks just about okay for me. Lovely.
Down it goes.
Blue we're on. And that red that we've just knocked out the way can be next.
17.
He's just looking to drop this in.
Got to be so delicate with these. Play them with enough power that they actually go in, because you look like a complete moron if they miss.
22.
But also play them soft enough so you can just get the best position. It's a tough balancing act, that is, sometimes. You've seen it so many times. We've played things far too hard or even far too soft.
23.
I'm going to give myself options here and then decide on the next shot. And either go for the one down the table or choose the one right by the yellow. It's a case we could just potentially get that out of the way, but again, position is a little bit of a worry from there, so I'm going to duck out of that. Controller batteries are low, so hopefully they don't run out during this recording. But where's the cue ball going again? Luckily, we've not quite gone in off this time. I can't speak today at all. Not quite gone in off this time, but unfortunately the black's just on the cushion. I'm not a big fan of playing those shots, so I'm going to duck out of that one, go for the blue, and hopefully get to the red by the yellow. So I'm glad we left that.
34.
Just cut that in, if we can. I wouldn't say that's definite. It would be a big risk in my opinion. I'm going to just go for this one down the table. Bit rocky so far.
One, but a half chance.
But that's a great pot. Our potting ability, I've never underestimated that. Never underestimated? I don't know what words I'm using today. Underestimated's the wrong word, I know that for a fact. But surely you know what I mean, to some extent. Pop the blue, if we can.
He's taking it on.
If we pop the blue, you wouldn't think we'd be too far away from winning the frame, but this is the sort of shot I'm talking about. Gotta play it hard enough so it reaches.
Neil Robertson, 35.
I mean, these are basic mistakes. Basic. Again, Masters winner? Really?
Attempting to get the white tight on the cushion.
Trying to play a safety here, is he? It's not really worked. Which pretty quietly.
Now that's a poor shot.
Jimmy Robertson, 6.
It is a poor shot, I agree.
It really is tricky.
Tricky shot. The dividends would be great there if we potted it, and it's there.
Great positional shot. He'll be happy with that.
But that was poor from Jimmy, really was. We played quite a bad shot there, I'll admit. But he didn't capitalise. This needs to come off the cushion, by the way, or else we've got a problem. Oh no, we're okay. And this cut, if we can get to it, will be enough to win the frame.
This red. Brilliant. Simply brilliant.
Excellent. Well, we've been sloppy so far. Be the first person to admit that. But I think without any too many complications here, we should be 2-0 up. I'm just going to play behind the yellow, because why not? All these are silly, tricky pots, so... yeah, I'd rather just play the simple shot, play it behind the yellow.
He's played that very well.
Neil Robertson.
And he's not going to bother trying to get out the snooker, so that was probably the best thing we could have done. And we're 2-0 up.
Take that frame.
This is starting to develop into a decent lead here. They'll want to ensure
Not the cleanest so far. It would be great if we, especially if we won this frame, to go and win it with a big break, because the breaks so far, I can tell you, have not been great.
The third frame.
But a good break off from Jimmy. That one ball on the cushion isn't going to give anybody opportunity just yet. Bit more of an aggressive shot here. Hopefully this ends back up in bulk. Didn't want to hit the brown full ball. Could have done with hitting it half ball and it going behind the yellow. But he has got a chance here. If he's confident enough. And that's that chance. Yeah, there's that red there. I was about to say I thought he was out of position, but he's okay.
8.
Oh,
pace is very
oopsie daisy.
here, and he doesn't want to underhit this.
But just a safety on the black. Didn't realise my iPad was still on.
Jimmy Robertson.
There you go.
8.
But yeah, just a safety. And a nice safety it was as well. I have to credit him for that.
Want to get this cue ball close to the cushion.
But luckily we've got a red which we can use here. But where's that cue ball? This could be another stupid mistake. Well, we got away with that. Sometimes you just have a bit of luck.
Not an easy one, but a half chance.
And he's missed the red and... oh, well. Well. And where's this cue ball going? Well, he's gone in off. And I think, personally, ladies and gents, we've got to make sure that's his last shot of the game.
4.
He's going to play on here.
Not been our best match by any stretch.
Very tricky shot coming up.
Sometimes it's a little bit like football. You've got to win when you're not playing well.
Outstanding. They don't come much better than that.
And the controller's disconnected. So, yeah, I'll be back in a minute. And normal service resumes.
Tough shot coming up.
That's a
Is
tremendous...
that in terms of the snooker or the controller? Who knows?
Ball is finished.
But us getting that pot, good pot. I have to say, these controllers, these rechargeable it's never last too long with the Xbox One. But I have to say, I can't remember the last time I had to charge the controller. So it's been a while, but I don't know if that's more testament to the fact I haven't played that often.
Well, he lost the cue ball a touch.
But you know I'm getting cocky when
The better control, really.
I'm talking about random stuff like that. And we have got out of control a little bit with the cue ball, so it's our job here to make a good recovery. Needs to get this on the cushion.
Well played.
That'll do.
14.
Well, the controller's just not working now. She's good, isn't it? I thought the game had froze, but no, it's the controller. Come on. Anybody in there? There we go, we're working again. I'll use this as an excuse now if we lose 3-2.
This should be pretty straightforward.
Good red though. Slightly overdone for the black, but it's okay. I think we should be fine on it. Because I'm a little bit... no, we've got to play it, to be honest. It's our best chance. I don't fancy this. Could easily go wrong. But it's okay. Position's a bit rubbish though. But I think the one red will just go into the middle pocket.
22.
And that's this one here. Will it pass the pink? Well. Turn up for the book. Can't seem to play a break at all here that's any good. Red might pass into that top pocket. It's worth a go, isn't it? Worth a punt. The risk is that red on the cushion. That might just be the best shot here, you know. Or can we try and get it in behind the yellow? Let's try. Let's have a look. Pace has got to be better there. It might run on in our favour, but no, it's not going to. That middle pocket one might be cuttable. A bit more pace and that would have been a good shot. But ultimately we were victims of our own poor position. After the black. So I didn't fancy it, so we didn't play it with too much pace. Jimmy Robertson not going for a pot here either, just a safety. And a very bizarre one at that. Really bizarre. Jimmy Robertson has done absolutely nothing today. He's just not took any opportunities when he's had them at all. Not like a player inside the top 25. Not like any professional snooker player, to be honest.
8.
Not played well at all. What did I say earlier? You've just got to play better than your opponent sometimes. And I think that's what we've done. Well, especially if we go and win this 3-0, that would be certainly testament to that, wouldn't it? I think we've got a decent opportunity to go and do that now. The Reds are all split. And as I said earlier, might be a bit of a boring one, but it's just routine. You know, ultimately now we've got to get to these final rounds. It's not been the easiest today. If Jimmy Robertson would have been in form, I'd have backed him to be, well, you know, I'd argue probably 2-1 in front at this point. If he'd have been playing well. But he just didn't turn up, didn't take his chances, and, well, we're going to punish him for that. Hopefully. We don't do anything silly.
25.
Had to focus on that shot, because I'm never too comfortable with those, but it was okay.
32.
50 ahead, still plenty of Reds left, but we're not too far away from the winning line at this point. Be interested to see who we face in the last 16, because even at the last 16 level, that's a serious level. I know that this is a serious level, but Jimmy Robertson hasn't really given us anything to worry about today.
33.
Not at all.
40.
But we've still got to finish this off. Not over until it says 3-0.
41.
It's not going to start. We were going to stay on the black, but just don't want to take the risk.
Just the blue required.
Blue's tricky though. The only ball we need. So could have potentially gone for the black, but looking okay.
Neil Robertson.
Well, well, well. That was shocking.
1.
Should have just played the black, really. Then we did home and dry. But he's gone for the blue. That means he now needs snookers because he needs every single point on the table. So he does need snookers, and I think that's exactly what he's going for here. And he's got one.
That's what he was going for, and he's played it well.
And you know I'm terrible at getting out of these. It's not all over yet.
He just wants to avoid the foul here. That'll keep his opponent needing snookers.
That'll do. And it hasn't provided much of a potting chance. That will do very much. Playing on though, can you blame him? Trying to get a second snooker. Can't get it this time though, and we might as well just go for a tight red, because if we do, and we get lucky and pot it, there's definitely no way he's coming back to the table. But that was a little bit of a silly risk, because if the cue ball had gone in, he might have thought he might come back to the table. He's going to carry on here though, I would say.
Challenging pot along the cushion here.
Obviously can't go for any of the other two reds. A good pot along the cushion.
Oh, that's a top shot.
And I would say that's curtains for Jimmy Robertson in this game.
1.
Pot the black.
Oh, that's an unforced error.
Don't snooker yourself, for God's sake. No, it's okay. They were just worrying because of where the reds were or something. Going to hit these right in the middle of the two of them. Who knows, it might fluke something. Don't think we are, though. But he's not going to come back to the table now. He's 43 remaining on the table.
Neil Robertson.
He's 61 behind. And with that, a very good victory.
Match. Neil Robertson.
We beat our Robertson counterpart by 3 frames to 0. Not the most glamorous, not the biggest breaks in the world. Highest break of only 41. But you can see there, we scored 205. Only 75 points to Jimmy Robertson. And we're through to the last 16 of the German Masters. Who are we going to face in the next round? I think we went out of this tournament in the first round last year, you know. Well, I suppose this round, the last 32, against Yan Bingtao. And we've got Luca Brissell in the next match. That's an interesting one. I don't think I've played Brissell, certainly not for a long time, of course, just below us in the rankings. And that is going to be a very interesting one. So the next episode will be Neil Robertson against Luca Brissell. A big match, to be fair. 2 big players for a spot in the quarter-final. If you've enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment your thoughts as well. Where do you think we'll get to in this tournament, and what do you think we'll do the rest of the season in terms of ranking wins and how we'll get on, or whether our season will just peter into nothingness like last year, or whether we'll do well. But as I've said, subscribe for regular Snooker 19 content. Thank you very much for your company today. I always appreciate you guys watching till the end. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.